Okay, this is tip number 7 of 25 to assist with PTSD and stress. And the topic of this video is to prove them wrong. And who is them? So them is not only those around you, other humans that are influencing you through either their comments, their facial expressions, but also them, which I think is a large majority of what you have to combat and fight against, is the thoughts in your head. Prove them wrong. Prove the thoughts wrong. And so what I want to first look at, them, those that are talking to you and influencing you, and then the thoughts in your head. So, and I'm going to talk about a couple examples of inspirational people who have overcame them and become quite successful. And so first, thinking of them in your brain, thinking of those thoughts that you're overcoming. So if you don't know what implicit thoughts are, or implicit bias, I'll explain it real quick. So like implicit, explicit means you are purposely doing something. You mean to offend somebody or say something bad. Implicit is where maybe you offended them and you didn't realize it, and you're behaving that way, or you act in a certain way automatically because your mind controls who you are. And these implicit actions, implicit bias, are all developed by everything that enters into our brain through our senses, through our smell, our sight, our taste, our eyes, develop our implicit attitudes, and create those biases. And there's something interesting. You can, if you Google Harvard implicity test, there's a lot of tests out there that can show if you are biased towards like white versus dark versus guns. And it's interesting that like these tests, so like the implicit bias test that Harvard has, you could be an African American and take it, and it would tell you that you prefer whites over blacks, and you're like, no, I'm black, I prefer black. But your mind creates an implicit bias based on what society tells you, and that's why this test can have an African American take it and show that he prefers whites over black. It's crazy. But anyway, these implicit ideas control your thoughts and and the way you behave. And what I want to tie this into is prove them wrong. So the implicit thoughts in your mind will tell you how you should deal with adversity, how you should deal with pain, with healing, with anything happening in your life. Society is saying, okay, you just endured a traumatic event. It's like it's okay to feel sad. You need to feel sad. You see other people around you dealing with adversity, giving up, just kind of feeling bad for themselves. So your mind automatically wants to tell you it's okay to give in, it's okay to give up, because that's what everyone's doing. That is who you got to prove wrong. You got to prove your mind wrong, and you got to bust through that. And I'm going to talk about a couple examples of people who did that. So the first one is Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a book he has out. I can't remember the name of it. Message me later. I'll look it up. I got it on one of my libraries. But it's his life story. And so he was growing up, and his parents were like, "No, you need to be like grow up, be like Gone with the Wind, like that movie, and get married, have tons of kids." And he's no, that's me, not me. And he joined the military. He was a tanker, and he's like really got into bodybuilding. He's like, no, I want to be a bodybuilder. I want to be Mr. Universe. And they were like, no, you can't do that. You're from Austria. You got to go have tons of kids. And he's like, no, I am proving you wrong. You tell me I can't. I'm going to do what I want to do. And so he became a bodybuilder. And then later he's like, well, I want to go into acting. And he came to the U.S., wanted to act, and people were like, Schwarzenegger, no one can really say that name. No one, you're not gonna be a successful actor. You're just this big muscular dude. That's not what Hollywood wants right now. And he's like, and you can barely speak English. You are not gonna be successful at all. And he ignored that, and he proved them wrong. And look how successful he is today. Another one is Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl, I really like studying about this guy. He has a book, I think it's called The Meaning of Life, or Finding the Meaning, or but he was a man that suffered some. He was in Auschwitz. He suffered some of the worst concentration camps that there are. And then he survived them, and he used those experiences to become a very successful psychologist. And he proved everybody wrong. He proved his thoughts wrong, because everyone around him, you know, after coming out of a concentration camp, there was so much like neurological issues, cardiovascular issues, all kinds of physiological issues with the body. And you see people all around you dealing with those issues. They're sick, they're just sad, they're just hating life, and your mind, your implicit thoughts are like, yep, that's how you should feel because everyone else is feeling that way. But no, he proved his thoughts wrong, he proved everybody else wrong, and he busted out of the chains that were on him and overcame that mountain of adversity and became one of the most successful psychologists today. And then another one is, let me talk about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, she grew up in Mississippi. Mississippi's like the poorest state. I think as of today it is, and probably even back then it was the poorest state. She grew up in poverty. She was molested as a child. She says that she got pregnant at 14, the baby died. And now look at her today. She's like, what, like billionaire. And she proved them wrong. She proved society wrong. She improved her implicit thoughts wrong that said, you are a female, you are an African American, you are growing up in poverty, you are in a society that through systemic racism funds policies that do not support African Americans. You cannot rise above your poverty level. She proved them wrong, and look where she is today, and she has helped a lot of people. And so that is some examples of not only proving the naysayers around you wrong. When you were trying to heal with PTSD, you were running into a mountain, a trial, adversity. You have to, one, prove those wrong that are explicitly telling you you cannot succeed, and then prove your mind wrong. Do not let your mind say it's okay just to give up because that's what everyone expects of somebody with this type of trial in their life. Prove your mind wrong. When your mind says you can fail, throw that out there. You were wrong. Be a competitive person and the desire to win, and you are battling your own self, and you're going to overcome that trial. Prove them all wrong. But think of this. So think, why did I mention Oprah Winfrey, Viktor Frankl, Schwarzenegger? You know, so many things that I've read about them, videos I've watched Schwarzenegger, those have motivated me, got me moving. And so imagine if Schwarzenegger would have gave up. He would have stayed out on the hills and been like Gone with the Wind. Viktor Frankl, maybe he would have committed suicide, alcoholism, like a majority of the Holocaust survivors. The inspiration that he has given me, the inspiration that he has given many, has probably helped people choose to overcome trials. So not only if overcoming these trials help you, imagine how much other people can help, how much third order effects it can have. And so key takeaway of this video is prove them wrong. I mentioned this in one. The most motivational speech you can ever get is tell me I can't do it. Go ahead, tell me I can't do it, see what happens. And then you're bound to show them that they're wrong. You're bound to prove them wrong. Prove your mind wrong. Your mind is in a constant battle against you, especially if you are religious and you believe in that there's a good and evil, and that there is a Satan that is trying to influence you to fail. Satan wants you to fail. If you believe in the Lord and Savior who wants you to be good and do what is right, know that there's an opposition out there. You are in a battle against Satan, and he's messing with your mind. He wants you to fail. He wants you to give up. He wants you to do evil. Prove him wrong and be the most successful person you can. Prove your thoughts wrong. Prove everyone wrong and overcome. Because when you overcome it, you are going to grow from it. And not only are you going to grow, maybe you're going to help someone else grow. That's all I got.